Speaking of women and hatred, let's talk about Mor.
Oh my God.
I was like, I've always disliked Mor. I feel like there was one season where there was like a couple of moments where I'm like, maybe I do like Mor. And now I'm back to like, fuck this bitch. Never been a huge Mor fan, and she continues to not win me over. So when you're in Cassian's point of view, she's this beautiful survivor who embraces sunshine, and she is the embodiment of sunshine. But in Nesta's point of view, quote, Morrigan's voice drew Nesta's gaze from the mountains and the warrior. First, I like that she calls her she calls her Morrigan and not Mor.
Mm-hmm.
You get right off the bat, they are not friends. This is where I feel like Mor starts to get into some mean girl shit. Quote, dark fire simmered in Morrigan's eyes. I knew plenty of people like you once. Her hand drifted to her abdomen. You never deserve the benefit of the doubt that good people like him give you. I want to point out that Mor is referencing the Night Court, that Mor is referencing people who brutalized her body, who stabbed her abdomen, who left her for dead. That is who Mor is referencing. Nesta has a drinking and gambling problem and depression problem. That is nowhere near anything that Mor is comparing people to. And yeah, Nesta's kind of a bitch, but like, she's not, I'm going to brutalize your body, bitch. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
What the fuck? And I just really struggle with like, what has Nesta done that is just so bad? And I'm not saying that Nesta is innocent. Like, that's the other thing that I like about this book is that it's complicated, right? Like, Nesta is being treated way harshly, but she's also not innocent. So you're kind of like, well, I guess it's okay, but it's a lot of misplaced hatred. And I think it's just easier for people to, the inner circle, to put a lot of their own resentment and trauma on her.
I think that's exactly right, because you can't justify some of the things that Mor says or the way that they act purely on the basis that Nesta neglected Feyre, for 10 years, who, by the way, Nesta was also a teenager / young woman, right, with trauma, who had been bred to be a rich merchant's daughter, had no skills for survival. You're really going to compare that person who is now traumatized and drinking and fucking her way around town to Faye in the Hewn City that get joy out of torture and murder.
Yeah.
And that's ludicrous, which, I'm not excusing it, but to your point, Jack, it is for Mor her own trauma response. For the rest of the inner circle, they don't get to be mad at the King of Hybern because the King of Hybern is dead. They don't get to be mad at the Cauldron. The Cauldron is an inanimate object, technically, right? So all of their anger about the war, the people who died that they couldn't save, all of that is misplaced onto Nesta.
Yeah.
Because Nesta currently has no redeeming qualities and maybe has never had redeeming qualities.
The only ones who get to be purely annoyed or have their own issues with her are Cassie and Feyre together, then Elaine, then maybe Amren, in that order.
Because they're the only ones who had a relationship with her.
Yeah. Everyone else, which is just Azriel, Rhys, and Mor, can suck it.
I wonder why Nesta is the way she is if nobody's help.
Especially when it's like, hey, we saw you were spiraling and decided to leave you alone. Hey, we saw you were going through a really hard time, so I backed off. I'm like, I checked on you 3 times in a single day. You were having a bad day. I'm like,
yeah,
how are you feeling? Is everything okay? Are you okay? Like, quick rant. Even though we just said that we're plowing, but you jinxed us.
I did.
I cannot imagine if whenever in the past I've had family members die, in this case, Nesta's dad, and not a single person reached out and been like, how are you? Are you okay? Or I'm going to be here while you weather this storm. You know who did get that? Feyre. And that is fucked.